And my name is Jordan Wilmot. Our proposal today outlines the key areas of our target market decision, our target market demographic, our market strategy, a detailed integrated marketing communications plan, SMART goals and how they are measured, as well as a comprehensive budget, implementation timeline, and membership forecast. The United States Fencing Association has a sustainability problem amongst their members. The sport shows great promise at the youth levels. However, issues in brand awareness and participation pose threats to sustained growth. Our objective is to increase USFA memberships by at least 4,000 within the 1-year time frame, given the newly revised budget of $80,000. This growth will be primarily driven by a comprehensive market strategy that targets youth and high school students in selected, underrepresented metropolitan areas with high potential for engagement. Our strategy extends well beyond the immediate 1-year time frame to focus on sustainable, long-term growth accomplished through leveraging partnerships and targeted value adds. Understanding the external and internal environment around USFA will ensure that our strategy is not only feasible, but is in fact cost-effective. We have identified the strengths of USFA as presenting a low-impact, affordable sport with strong ties to college admissions, coupled with the fact that the sport does not need a specialized facility to be played. Weaknesses such as a perceived notion of the sport being expensive, lack of brand awareness, and a lack of opportunities at the grassroots levels provide us an opportunity to build off the recent Olympic success in Paris. This is accomplished through endorsement deals with Olympic athletes to expand USFA's brand awareness and engagement in our selected metropolitan areas at the grassroots level through innovative initiatives. These opportunities allow USFA to mitigate the threats of other sporting clubs taking potential youth members and improve our lack of publicity and brand awareness of the sport. When given the case, we are provided with two potential approaches: a broadly targeted approach that encompasses all 8 metropolitan areas, or a narrow approach that targets just the city of Chicago. We decided on a third option. Our proposal targets youth ages 7 to 17 in the metropolitan areas of Chicago, Philadelphia, and DC. We developed this approach based on 2 key statistical findings. The first, the average club membership is under 100 members, which is the USFA benchmark for a sustainable club. Secondly, the average club membership across these 3 metropolitan areas is under 124 members, which is the median membership across all 8 metropolitan areas. Our target audience is diverse youth between the ages of 7 and 17, with an added emphasis on those interested in STEM subjects for the ages of 13 to 17. We decided on this demographic since they provide us an opportunity to grow the membership pipeline sustainably as they will grow up as USFA members. Being a national governing body for a sport gives us an opportunity very few businesses have: the ability to create passion and loyalty. No other industry and business can build stronger consumer loyalty than that of sport. We are targeting youth between the ages of 13 to 17 interested in STEM subjects, as our research shows that 55% of NCAA fencers are in fact STEM majors. Finally, we are targeting youth from diverse backgrounds in order to ensure that USFA membership numbers accurately reflect that of societal averages. Since we understand that our target audience may not necessarily have the buying power, our ideal buyer persona would be a millennial parent who would typically have 2 kids between the ages of 7 and 17 in our 3 selected metropolitan areas, typically holding a bachelor's degree and in the higher middle class tax bracket. Their goals and aspirations for their child would be to promote physical activity, enhance skill development, improve social engagement, and provide them new and future opportunities for their development.
So our market strategy is based around a variety of youth initiatives that are intended to inspire participation in fencing. These initiatives have all been specifically targeted to both Gen Alpha and Gen Z youth in our previously identified metropolitan areas. The strategy that we have developed to engage with Gen Alpha youth leverages the existing partnership between the USFA and the 2-for-1 sports sampling program to motivate signups for after-school programs that will be financially supported through the USFA. Leveraging this partnership will allow us to offer a low-cost and low-barrier, simplified introduction to an Olympic sport that is both fun and interactive while still developing skills that translate directly to Olympic-style fencing. We have determined 19 schools that will have 2-for-1 fencing programs implemented into their phys ed classes for students aged 7 to 12, engaging approximately 8,500 students. The decision on which schools to choose was made using the criteria that the school scored at least an A- rating in diversity to align with our mission of fencing is for everyone. In order to get this initiative into 19 schools, 3 gold packages will be purchased at a total cost of just over $18,000. These packages will include access to curriculum and lessons, equipment kits, travel and lodging for instructors, along with additional benefits that can be shared between up to 7 schools. So not only will this program offer a fun trial to motivate more youth to participate in fencing, but it also acts as a channel for us to directly promote after-school programs to parents via school newsletters. Our vision for after-school programs is to have local clubs partner with the schools to get the students from the schools to the clubs for a 2-hour session that happens 2 days a week. The sessions will provide basic fundamental instruction to set a foundation for future participation. In addition to introducing the sport to youth at zero cost to them, we have allocated $32,000 in subsidies to alleviate the cost of these after-school programs, in which we estimate will reduce the cost by approximately $100 per participant for a 3-month program. The strategy we have developed to reach Gen Z is an experimentation of our created sport that we call chensing. Chensing integrates chess into fencing by having 2 teams consisting of 1 fencer and 1 chess player. When a fencer scores a touch, their corresponding chess teammate is able to make a move, and the game goes on until the chess game ends. We believe this could be an effective strategy because of the fact that new members of the USFA are often young people who participate in chess clubs and gravitate towards an affinity for STEM subjects. The goal of chensing is to introduce the sport in a way that showcases the similarities in strategy between the 2 sports. This initiative will be implemented into a total of 14 high schools within our metropolitan areas, engaging over 5,000 students. The decision on which schools to choose was made using the criteria of having an advanced placement program, at least an A- rating in diversity, and the requirement that the school has both a chess club and a USFA recognized fencing team. In order to motivate signups for USFA memberships, we have allocated $9,000 to be split between the 3 schools that contribute to the most percentage of signups from this initiative. Following the recent Olympic success for USA Fencing, we have decided to supplement our strategy by signing Tim Morehouse to an endorsement deal. Tim is an Olympic silver medalist and the founder of both the Tim Morehouse Fencing Club and the Fencing in the Schools program. We believe that his success in the sport, coupled with his passion and experience for teaching the sport at a youth level, will make him a perfect fit to as an influencer for our strategy. We will be paying Tim $10,000 for a 1-year deal where he will be tasked with developing a series of educational videos that teach the fundamentals of fencing to make learning and practicing the sport more accessible. These videos will be posted to YouTube and then integrated into the new skill development section of the USFA website, where they can be viewed by anybody across the country. The inspiration for this initiative is drawn from an industry example of the Titleist Performance Institute, which has a database of videos that range from drills to exercises with the focus of improving your golf game.
Our integrated marketing communications plan consists of the previously mentioned youth initiatives, as well as a comprehensive digital marketing plan with the ultimate goal of changing the brand perceptions of the USFA through unified messaging, demonstrating that fencing is a sport for everyone. Our IMC plan accounts for the marketing mix of product, price, promotion, and place, with our product being our youth initiatives, as well as our educational videos, and now our unique value proposition. Price and promotion are covered through subsidies and bursaries, while promotion also covers our digital marketing. Finally, place is accounted for through our 3 metropolitan areas, as well as the 5 platforms of Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and the USFA website. Our digital marketing approach uses these 5 platforms, with Instagram and TikTok being focused on producing entertaining content, while Facebook, YouTube, and the USFA website focusing on creating educational content. We are also segmenting by behavior within the sport participation market, targeting leisure and enjoyment seekers, stress and mental health-based participants, and novelty participants. We can target leisure and enjoyment seekers, as well as stress and mental health-based participants, through our unified messaging of fencing being a sport for everyone, as well as the fact that fencing is becoming more accessible. Finally, we can target novelty participants through our hybrid sport fencing, as well as the fact that fencing is a relatively new sport for most people.
So given our previously mentioned strategies, we have identified a mix of short-term and long-term goals to help us reach our objectives. In order to increase membership sustainably by at least 4,000, we want to convert 20% of Gen Alpha and 15% of Gen Z participants into USFA members by the end of year 1. And in saying this, we also want to drive the viewership of our educational videos made with our new endorsement of Tim Morehouse. In order to improve member retention rates, we're going to focus on developing those future competitors at that grassroots level. In order to increase brand awareness by at least 25%, we want to use a complete digital marketing approach and measure it through our KPIs like maximizing social media impressions and keyword searches. Lastly, our strategies and short-term goals align with our long-term objectives established in the USFA's 2024-2028 strategic plan.
In order to fund our 2-for-1 initiative, we have set aside $18,094 to cover the cost and logistics of each event taking place across all the elementary schools of our 3 selected metropolitan areas. Each dollar figure shown here takes into account state tax for their corresponding location. $9,000 was set aside in bursaries for our fencing program to incentivize membership increases. The funds will be allocated on a tiered approach of $6,000 for first place, $2,000 for second place, and $1,000 for third place to the clubs with the highest number of memberships to target the competitive nature of youth. $32,000 will be allocated to the USFA after-school program. Each club in the metropolitan areas will be receiving $2,000 to lower the cost of entry at their discretion. For example, in a 30-participant class, this would lower the cost by $66 a person. Although cost varies between clubs, we have developed an example of a potential cost breakdown based on the precedent of similar clubs in the area. The cost of joining the after-school program will be approximately $383 a month, with the first session, valued at $47, being free for those who signed up from the 2-for-1 initiative, coupled with the additional $66 in savings from the aforementioned $2,000 bursary. Therefore, the first month of the after-school program for those who were introduced to the sport from the 2-for-1 initiative will be $114 cheaper than the average cost going forward. The remainder of the funds have been allocated to an authentic digital marketing campaign. Social media advertisements will run throughout the course of the full year at the cost of $7,124 across our 4 selected platforms. Since all social media platforms charge based on a CPM model, which is a cost per 1,000 impressions, the amount we have set aside for each application is based on our forecasted goals. $4,925 has been set aside for YouTube, split into 2 equal payments in both quarters 1 and quarter 2 in order to promote our 2-for-1 and fencing initiatives, with the allocated $4,925 we can forecast impressions of 250,000. Instagram has been allocated $900 with forecasted impressions of 300,000. Facebook has been allocated $600 with forecast impressions of 105,000. And TikTok has been allocated $700 with impressions forecasted of 218,000. Altogether, with a budget of $7,124, we can forecast impressions of 873,000 across all platforms in just 1 year. We have also staggered the release of our social media advertisements to build off the momentum of each campaign. For instance, we have identified the end of Q1 as a potential touch point for a strong presence on Facebook to target millennial parents as the after-school programs begin. In order to ensure authenticity in our messaging, we have set aside $1,680 from the budget for the development of authentic social media content. This cost was calculated based on precedent of 5 cents per person reached, accounting for production and design costs. This content has an estimated reach of 35,000 across all 4 platforms. The content will roll out at the beginning of Q2, 3 months after the initial start of the 2-for-1 program, with new content coming out at the beginning of Q3, focusing on our Laurentian initiative. This content will highlight parent and participant testimonials, as well as highlighting the participatory and fun nature of these events. With our newly revised budget and the additional $5,000 given for an Olympic athlete endorsement deal, we now have additional spending of $12,101. We have set aside $10,000 for the endorsement deal with Tim Morehouse, which will be used for his name, image, and likeness in order to create the educational video curriculum, while $2,000 will be used in order to actually develop the educational videos, with the remainder of the funds being used as a charitable donation to the Fencing in the Schools program to expand their reach at the grassroots level and hopefully to future incentivize a partnership. Our proposal forecasts membership growth to reach at least 4,360 new USFA members in 1 year, backed by statistical analysis of our 5 initiatives. The 2-for-1 initiative will engage 8,589 students across our 3 metropolitan areas. Given the participatory nature of the event, the fact that youth between the ages of 7 to 10 are more likely to not be sports specified, as well as the added discount incentive for the after-school program, we believe we can easily hit a targeted conversion rate of 20%. This would bring the total number of members from the 2-for-1 initiative to 1,718. As for our Laurentian initiative, we forecast membership conversion rates at 15%. This was based off the demonstration effect of the initiative, the fact that youth ages 13 to 17 are in fact a little bit more likely to be sports specified, and the competitive nature of youth when it comes to the bursaries. This would result in 770 new total members. Our digital marketing outreach was built off these 3 statistical findings for our forecast. 87% of millennial parents make a purchasing decision after being influenced by their child. 72% of millennial parents use social media to make a purchasing decision, while 79% of millennials will look for sales or discounts when making a purchase. Through leveraging partnerships such as Macron, which will be providing clubs with customizable kits at the grassroots level starting in 2025, as well as Ingenious Prep, highlighting the post-secondary benefits of the sport, we believe from the 2,487 student membership forecasted, we can assume 40% of millennial parents will follow these trends, resulting in an additional 995 parental memberships. The most important components to millennials in online marketing is authentic and short-form content creation. We believe from this point, based on our market strategy, we can make an educated inference of a sub 1% conversion rate of the 1,495,000 millennials in our 3 selected metropolitan areas, which will put us already well above the 4,000 member goal. So finally, With our new source of memberships coming from the Tim Morehouse endorsement, we forecast 360 new members on top of the 4,000 already forecasted. This is based on the 5% demonstration effect of the curriculum and the fact that Forbes reported influencers have on average a 4% increase in sales when it comes to the brand they are influencing for. This now brings our total membership number to 4,360 for the first year. Our implementation timeline is broken down into 4 phases of building, advancing, nurturing, and evaluating. Our digital marketing campaign will run over the course of the full year with key touch points in order to target our audience. For example, the Tim Morehouse curriculum is introduced to our social media channels at the beginning of Q2 to build off the success of the 2-for-1 initiative. And at the end of Q2, a Facebook ad campaign will be posted highlighting the sports and memberships benefits as we go into the summer. Our authentic social media content will be delivered over the course of our advancing and our nurturing phases, with content from 2-for-1 being rolled out at the beginning of Q2 and content from Chensing being rolled out at the end of Q2, building off the hype of each initiative. Our bursaries and subsidies will be calculated in the advancing part of our implementation plan, and they'll be distributed in the nurturing part of our implementation plan in order to promote that success going forward. Finally, in the evaluating stage, we'll be able to measure the success of our proposal based on our goals and our key performance indicators, plan for growth opportunities presented to us through the development of our grassroots initiatives, and then we can prepare for the logistics and the new opportunities of the coming year. Our proposal today not only meets the objectives set forth in the 1-year timeframe, but lays a sustainable foundation for the growth of USFA and their memberships at the grassroots levels for years to come. This will ensure memberships and club objectives are met, if not exceeded, by the end of USFA's current strategic direction of 2024 to 2028. Thank you all so very much for taking the time today. At this point, we'll field any questions you may have for us.
Thank you, guys. I'm now going to open up the floor to any judges that want to ask a first question.
Sure.
So I realize that 2-for-1 currently has a fencing program already. How does what you're doing complement or contrast with what's happening right now?
Yes.
Go ahead, Adam.
Sorry, I read. So essentially what they have, their program offers the instruction for a variety of different sports. So what they, essentially the way their business works is things like schools or other groups will pay them to come into a group and teach them the sport. So from my understanding, the question is we're just essentially outsourcing this instruction to them and getting them to come into our schools to teach the fencing.
You mentioned you're going to be looking at 19 schools across 3 different cities. Are these public school systems, private schools, or a mixture?
So with those 19 schools, we ensured that they were all public schools, just to be able to emphasize on our point of diversity and ensuring that the sport is accessible for everybody.
In regards to your marketing strategy, you have a campaign called Life's Too Short for Just One Sport. Where'd that come from?
So that's the slogan for the 2-for-1 sport sampling program. So that's just their slogan in terms of like teaching youth more than one sport and trying to get them involved in as many as they can.